Hello, hello, hello. Come on in the room. Come on in the room, you guys. I'm so excited for today. I don't want to hold up the time. I'm going to make sure that I go and share this so that people are and tag some people so you guys don't miss this live. I want to make sure that you guys catch this live. Why? Because I want you to be able to ask questions. But let me tell you a little bit about where you at today, because I'm aware that some of you have just joined the speaker circle, so you might not know what today is. Today is Teaching Tuesday. And once a month on Tuesday, we are so very, very lucky to have an expert grace our stage. Yes, grace our stage and come and give you the real deal. Why is it the real deal? Because these people have done it. Everybody that I have brought here is people that are actually doing the work and they have the receipts. Receipts, please. Yes, they are on top of it. And so I'm always excited, you guys, but I really get excited like when I know we got the juice, okay? So if you thirsty, say I'm thirsty. Yes, we got the juice for you today. So get ready to quench your thirst on today because Mary got the juice, you guys. So let me tell you just a little bit about Mary Cravets. And I hope I said your name right. Ooh, y'all got to help me because they'll tell me how to say their name and then I get all into it and I mess the name up. Like, you can't mess up the juice, okay? But let me tell you about Mary. Mary, she is a client generation expert, an international speaker. Y'all, we got an international speaker in the speaker circle on today. And guess who she helps? Speakers like you. She helps entrepreneurs. And what does she help them do, you guys? Y'all want to know what she helps them do? Can you say grow? Grow. Who ready to grow? I'm ready to grow. Level up. Level up. Level up, level up, level up. Hey, I'm ready to level up. This is our year, y'all. And Mary says she's going to help you level up. If you ready, say y'all ready. And guess what? This is the best part. Now, this is the real level up. Let me tell you when you really level up. When you're not working weekends and nights. Come on, entrepreneurs. We need our lives back. You ready to get your life? Come on. Trisha said increase. It's time to increase. She all about the increase. Somebody said they ready out there. Okay, she says that using her methods. Y'all, this is why she increases. She has something called methods. Can you say methods? We can't just be everywhere and think we're going to grow somewhere. We're going to grow right into some craziness. I know. I've been there, done that. Hey, I got the badge, y'all. But today we're going to learn some methods because Mary said, look, Lanice, I'm ready. And I'm going to share the methods. She's going to share the goods, you guys. I got a chance to talk with her and meet with her. And let me tell you a little bit about some of her clients. I have to share this. I get excited because, I actually get to talk to my guests. And then, I get to know them a little bit. So I get all excited about sharing who they are. And then I'm like, Lanice, focus on their bio. Okay, because this is important. Some of her and clients include the former CFO of Microsoft North America. Anybody use Microsoft? I'm sorry, if she can help Microsoft, she can help me, okay? Okay. Can we say methods on today? Methods, all righty. She helps the thought leaders in her coaching industries and rising stars in various professions. Mary is also, guess what, y'all? She likes to get on them roller coasters. Life can be a roller coaster, but she figured out the method to it all. She figured out the method to the madness. She also likes to kayak. Mary, you on your own on that one, okay? You had fun. Tell me how it was, all right? And she volunteers for the Wildlife Protection Program in Morro Bay, California. Mary is just a great individual. I'm going to tell you why Mary is here today. Mary came into the speaker circle and showed out, okay? I was like, who is Mary? I need to know who Mary is we had a post. I can't even remember what the post was about. Something about speaking engagements. And I think Mary said she had like 37, like in a month or something. I was like, what is Mary doing? We need to know the methods of Maryanism. That's we need the Maryanism methods. Y'all ready for the Maryanism methods? All right. Okay, y'all, I've talked enough. My name is Lanice Leeds. I am the administrator here for the Speaker Circle. I have a passion to help speakers to launch forward, and I like to connect you guys to coaches and people who can help you scale your business. That's why I do this. You know, my role is to connect you. Somebody that you have met is for you, right? We can't do it alone. We can't do it alone. So that's why we have people like Mary. So help me. Show some hearts if y'all ready. Somebody said they ready for the oh, come on. Maryanism methods. Come on. Show some love for Mary. Yes. Welcome, Mary. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me here. And usually I am like, I've got all the energy and I got to bring it all. And you have like set the bar so high that I'm a little intimidated. I have to be honest.
Well, we're ready for you, Mary. I'm so excited. Thank you for joining us. And you guys, if you have questions, make sure you put them in the chat, because guess what? At the end, we're going to come back. Yes. And we're going to talk to Mary, that one-on-one. So it's important that you stay on. So I'm going to step out and the stage is yours, Mary.
Oh, thank you very much. And so what I'm going to share with you right now is you're going to want to get out some paper and pen and everything, because what I'm going to show you today, it definitely is going to require some work on your part. So Lanice, is this set up the way it's going to be set up? Like sharing screen like this? Are we all set? Okay. So I will just leave it there. Okay. That is how I would love it. I would love it just like that if we can leave it right there. Okay, so today I want to welcome you to Speaking Online for Free, a surprisingly profitable strategy to attract new clients. Now, I don't know if you feel at all like this, like you have, if you just get people to see and understand what you're doing, you could attract more clients because so many people need what you do. Well, I get it. Here's the thing I know about you is it can be so frustrating when you're accomplished, you're smart, and I'm here today just clarify a strategy to better showcase your brilliance so you can be getting more clients, you can be earning more money, and making a bigger impact. And focus is going to be on speaking today, and it's not just to get in the spotlight. I don't attract a lot of people who are just like all about me, 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 me. This is about making an impact and also providing for yourself. I love what Lainey said. She said, receipts, please. I do not have a volunteer business. I do not recommend doing what you do for free unless it's a strategy to drive revenue to your business. So we're going to start with looking into let me just share with you what we're going to cover today. So first of all, you're going to answer the question, should I speak for free once and for all? There are a lot of different ways to do speaking and make money at it. You want to make sure you are choosing the right one for you and choosing the right strategy to accomplish your goals. I'm going to go over the keys to making an audience hungry to work with you even before you set foot on stage. And also we're going to factor in the 6 essential elements of an effective client generation plan so you can maximize your results. I'm going to include some case studies away. And what I really want you to know today is that what you're going to learn, this is not theory, okay? This is not something I read in a book somewhere. You know what? I've gotten this all from in the trenches experience. So a little bit of my background, just so you know where this is coming from, just so you know it's the real deal. You know, I run a multiple 6-figure coaching and training company from my home in California, and it didn't always look like that. When I started this, I was just running around like a crazy person. I didn't have a plan, and even though I'd loved speaking ever since I was very, very young. I mean, my parents laugh. They're like, wow, what a shocker. You get paid to talk. It's always been something I could do, connecting with audiences, expressing, connecting. But the problem was, like, a couple years of doing speaking in my business, a couple years in, I completely burned out. I was spending way too much time on it. I wasn't getting results. And as much as I loved it, I knew I was either going to have to figure this strategy out or give it up. And so when I hit that really low point where I literally burned out, I had 4 hours of energy a week to run my business. One question popped into my head as I was trying to figure out, what am I going to do? And the question that popped into my head, and I recommend you write this down. This is the first thing I'm going to recommend you write down. The question that popped in my head was, what's working? What's working? And it's like the clouds parted and the angels sang. And I realized that I've been trying to generate clients from speaking, but I've been completely ignoring the foundational strategy I created for client generation. Like, my whole business is built on it. And this is what it looks like. And don't get too caught up in all the details. But this is like looking at the overall strategy. This is foundation that helped me double my business several times over. And it helped my clients consistently increase their income 50% or more. So I rebuilt my approach to speaking. I simplified, I boiled everything down to a structure and strategies and a method that consistently brings in clients for my business and for the clients, the businesses that I teach my method to. And from all of these experiences, I know 3 things for a fact. Number 1, anyone can generate clients from speaking. I did it all wrong. And I'll tell you some of those stories in a minute, but I eventually developed a process that has generated over 6 figures of income a year for the past 7 years, even during the pandemic. The second thing is that you must be strategic and you've got to bring your authentic voice to the table. Winging it doesn't work, and trying to be somebody else doesn't work. And the third thing is that this is a huge opportunity. There are tons of marketers out there screaming that you got to have online funnels and all this social media and everything and opt-ins, and it's all so complicated. And the fact is that there are literally hundreds of audiences, thousands of people all looking for great speakers like you. And the truth is, though, this takes work. Okay, to get results, consistent implementation is a non-negotiable. This is not a get rich quick. Is that fair? You willing to roll up your sleeves and get to work? All right, so let's jump right in. So the first thing we want to look at is to answer the question, should I speak for free? Is it the right way for you to grow your business? Well, the easiest way to answer this question is to understand how you earn money from different kinds of speaking and what your job is and how to walk through it. Okay, so I'm just going to walk through these one by one. This is the analysis I did, because here's the problem is that you see someone's speaking strategy and you go, ooh, I want to do that. I want to be on stages. And you don't know what strategy they're following. They're going to teach you something. And for instance, if you want to do keynotes, but you're following my speaking for free model, you're going to be very unhappy. Not only that, there's a lot of detail to it. And so whatever you see of someone's strategy, you're seeing the very tip of the iceberg. So you have to be very careful. You have to be very clear about what you want to accomplish and how you're going to get there. So let me just go through these 4 different kinds of speaking. So the first kind of speaking that people they want to do is hosting their own events. Now, the way you are compensated, and I always want you to be thinking about how am I compensated, is you get the event fees and the sales. The way you maximize what you earn is you have to gather a large audience. Now, the pros are that this is a very qualified audience. You're going to make some money upfront, probably if you charge for it. And then you've got a qualified audience, so you will probably create more sales. Now, the cons are that you have to get cheeks and seats. That's your number 1 job. So all that time that you could be speaking for other groups, you are marketing your buns off to get people in an audience, and you know how hard it is to get people to show up. So this is a lot of work. There are some, if you are good at managing events and bringing people in and attracting them to your events, this might be a good option for you. Second kind is paid speaking. Now, the way you get compensated is your speaker fee. The way you maximize this is you've got to find the events, you negotiate your fees, and the pros are that someone else gathers the audience for you. Now, the cons are that this is an incredibly competitive space. And according to the National Speakers Association, for expert speakers like me, the competition is fierce and ridiculous. Groups are looking for low paid, get them in, dime a dozen type of speakers. And then they're also looking for very, very, very high paid, the Brene Browns and the Oprah Winfreys of the world, where they're going to pay, 6 figures for their speaking. And then there's the middle market, and we're all competing for that. That's where I live. And I don't like that much competition. I just don't. It's not what I love. Then there's this thing called pay to speak. I don't know if you've heard of this before, but pay to speak. This is where someone puts together an event and they say, hey, I know the way I'm going to make money. So I'm going to gather an audience, but I'm going to have the speakers pay for their time on the stage. Now you can make an offer. That's how you make money. You make sales. The problem is that you have to sell better than the other speakers. So if you don't like selling, this is not going to be the place for you. Now, the pros are someone gathers the audience for you. The cons are it's often turns into kind of a hard sell. You're competing against everybody else. And a lot of times your audience is made up of the other speakers. So yeah, not a big fan of that. Which brings us to the no fee speaking. And that's what I'm going to really dig into today. Here's how I decided that this is what I was going to do. The way you make your money is you make an offer, and it's from sales afterwards from these clients you enroll. How to maximize that is you've got to find qualified groups. This is where your ideal clients are gathered. And you have to deliver strategic content and make an offer. The pros are someone else gathers the audience. Yay, we've checked that box. And there are jillions of opportunities. And by the way, I put together this handy dandy spreadsheet way before the pandemic. So there were jillions of opportunities before, and now without the geographic barriers that we used to be limited by, now that's opened up as well. So it's well more than a jillion, maybe 2 jillion opportunities. Now the cons are you're not paid up front. So there is a little risk, but because, and when you apply some of the tips I'm going to give you today of how to put together your content, how to make an offer, how to get in front of the right audiences, that is a risk that's fair. It's fair for you to come and give your valuable knowledge for the opportunity to make an offer. All right. So if you're still feeling just a little funky about, speaking for free, Lenny's, let me go through each of these actually. So as I looked through each of these, I said, for the host your own events, huge output of time. I don't want to do that. For paid speaking, tons of competition. Don't want to do that. The pay to speak, just yuck. Don't want to do that at all, which was what made me fall in love with unpaid speaking. Because here's the really fun thing is if you run your own business and you want to make an impact, this speaking for free to generate clients is a way to make an impact with your marketing. Instead of waiting for clients to make an impact, you get to make it with your marketing. Now, if you have any resistance to this, I do want to introduce you to John. This is the former CFO of Microsoft North America that Lenise mentioned earlier. And when I mentioned to him speaking for free is a good strategy for him, he was very resistant. So if you're feeling resistant, you are not alone. Of course, he was resistant. He charges 5 figures just to coach someone, just to show up on site. But because he was open and he was at the point in his business where he realized, no matter how accomplished he was coming out of the corporate world, it didn't prepare him to generate clients. He just didn't have that skill set. So he was open to thinking differently. And in the year we worked together with speaking as one of his strategies, he doubled an already good year. So my point is stay open and curious throughout this process, please. Okay, so let's go through the keys to making audiences hungry to work with you even before you set on stage. So if you have been speaking and audiences love you but don't hire you, what's missing in your strategy? And if you haven't been speaking yet, how do you start strong? Well, that's what I'm going to go over next, what to do before, during, and after a gig so your efforts pay off. So speaking is a proactive marketing strategy just to show you where we are on the map. So the thing to keep in mind when you are speaking for free is that everything must be designed with your ideal client in mind, because you only make money from new business, and new business only comes in the form of your ideal client. Did you get that? You only make money from new business, and new business only comes in the form of your ideal client. So everything from the groups you approach to the title to the final word of your talk must be geared towards your ideal client. All right, let me give you a few tips of before, during, and after. So the first thing you want to do is you've got to develop a kick-ass title. Now, this must speak to what your ideal client knows and wants. And this could be a little tricky because you're smart, you're brilliant at what you do, right? And your ideal client maybe doesn't know that they need you. So the example I often give is you may be an expert in emotional intelligence. You may know when a manager is struggling with their team that emotional intelligence is the answer. You think, okay, emotionally EQ made simple. That's a great talk title. Where the problem is your ideal client doesn't know they need that. What they know is their team is acting like 5-year-olds. So a title that reflects what they know is critically important to draw them to your talks. The second thing is you've got to focus on booking gigs, not creating your whole presentation. I have to tell you, there are people I've met and they've been perfecting their presentation safely behind their computer for years. And they've never stepped on stage because they're waiting for that perfect moment. It's so easy to stay there creating, thinking it has to be absolutely perfect. But let me ask you a question, actually. If someone said to you, Lenice, in 1 month, I have a stage for you. It's a perfect stage. It's in front of your ideal clients, and we want your topic, and you don't have it perfectly figured out yet. Will you figure it out with a deadline of 1 month? Of course you are. So of course you figure it out. So the first thing you want to do is get your title, and as soon as possible, start booking gigs. Doesn't matter that your presentation isn't perfect. I float out talk titles all the time to groups to test them before I build them. All right. So I want to make sure that now booking speaking gigs is a big topic. We don't have time for it today, but I do want to provide you with an additional resource. So if you would like my digital course, Book Speaking Gigs Like Crazy, it's $197 value. I'm giving it totally free to you as a part of the Speakers Circle and Lenice's community. All you have to do is send an email to me, mary@simplygetclients.com, with the subject line smile, because I know more speaking gigs would make you smile. And also, that's how my team picks it out of my inbox. So this will help you kickstart your efforts and focus your efforts and support you beyond our time today. It's called Book Speaking Gigs Like Crazy. It's got training scripts, templates, so you don't have to waste time figuring out what to say, what to do to start generating more speaking gigs right away. So please feel free to email me to get that, and you will get that deep dive. This is really the game changer. When you can get on lots of stages, you can practice, you can refine, you can get clients. You can do anything if you can get booked. All right. I want to give you one more before tip. Okay. So the non-negotiables of booking. Now that I'm giving you the tools to book, there are 3 non-negotiables. All right. Number 1 is your title. If you figure out your title and you know it is going to draw your ideal clients like bees to honey, you don't change it. Just because a group has a theme for the month, you don't change it. You only get compensated if your ideal clients are in the seats. And if you don't have your title dialed in, if you're not allowed to use that, you're going to dilute your audience and lose those percentages of potential clients. Don't change your title. Second non-negotiable, gathering contact information. In order for speaking to be a long-term strategy that compounds with the results that you're getting, you want to gather the contact information. So you have to be allowed to do that. If you are not allowed to do that, don't take the gig. It's going to be, the people in your audience. If they want you, they'll hire you. If they don't, you lose them forever. You want to be able to nurture those contacts. So in the future, when they want you, you are still connected with them. And the third thing is you have to be allowed to make an offer. Now, for most speakers, I recommend an offer as simply scheduling a follow-up conversation. making, for free talks, making a massive paid offer with bonuses and upsells, it's generally inappropriate and usually ineffective and plain tacky, frankly, when you're in front of an audience you've never met before. But in order to attract more clients, you got to be allowed to make an offer of some kind. Okay, so what do you do during a presentation? Well, first we've got to solve the how do I not give it all away problem. Okay, so this is what my clients are always working on in my Fast Track Speaker Academy. Because, in order to attract clients, you have to create curiosity and desire, but you also don't want to feel like you're withholding. So you have to give them stuff, but still, and it's this weird balance. So you've got to do two things. Number one, you've got to give value. You've got to give them something that they're going to be able to go, okay, I figured out from Mary's talk which kind of speaking I should be doing. Or I figured out through her book speaking gigs like crazy, I'm figuring out how to book. You've got to give value. And the other thing you have to do is show them what else there is to learn. And you have to do that in a way that is, professional, classy. Show people the bigger picture. And I will tell you, this isn't just for sales. You also have to equip people with understanding that whatever you teach in a, 30 to 90 minute training or talk is not everything that they need to know in order to be successful. And I'm going to do that today. I'm modeling what I say here. So to solve the problem of how do I not give it all away for free, you want to have real value. You can go deep with the content you're giving, as long as you give that bigger picture. This is going to be like what you're watching today. It's going to be a great example of that. So you can see how I do it. The second thing is don't rely on the organization to give you the contact information. I can't tell you how many times I had organizations promise me they'd get me the contact information of everyone in the room, and either they couldn't follow through or they didn't follow through. So always build in a way to gather contact information. Now, what did I do today? Just watch the context of what I'm doing. I offered something free, something I'm happy to give, and you will send me an email and I will give you additional resources if you want them. So don't rely on the organization to give you the contact information, and don't be salesy. And at the same time, don't make it hard for people to go work with you further. So if you spend all of your time being salesy and pushing yourself, you're not going to get new business. Viewers, listeners, they are too savvy. They know all the tricks and everything. So you can't be salesy through the whole presentation, but at the same time, you have to be very clear when you make your offer on how they would work with you further. Now, I want to talk about sales for a minute, because this is where people get really, really resistant and fearful. And it is usually because there is an old definition of how you think, what you think sales is. So I'm just going to tell you, I apparently don't have the slides, but old school sales. What old school sales is pressuring. It's me trying to convince you. It's proving, it's scaring. And that is all about disempowering you. It's about scarcity, false scarcity. It's about force and disrespect. These are old school sales tactics. They don't work. So if your gut feeling is, I don't want to do that, congratulations, you are already on the right track. Now, what works better and what feels better and more authentic is providing value, inviting and including people in an invitation to work further, clarity on what it takes to work with you further. And this is all about being empowering and respectful and connecting. So the great thing is these approaches, they're going to feel better to you, and they also are more effective. And this is the experience of one of my clients, where she walked through the scripting that I do with my clients, and she got on the call, very few people in the room. She walked away with 2 prospective clients, and I believe she did close one of them. So it not only feels better, it's not wimping out, it actually works better too. Okay, so after your presentation, what do you want to do? You want to evaluate and record your data because over time, you're going to want to fine tune the audiences you want to be in front of. So you want to evaluate, was there anything that didn't work well? Was there something in your technology you should have done better? Was there a transition in your talk or a teaching point that didn't quite work? You want to evaluate the presentation, also record data. How many people were in your audience? How many people got on your email list? How many people decided to talk further about your services? Record it year over year. You will see some trends and you'll be able to fine tune who you speak for and also the topics that work best to attract new business. You are going to want to follow up immediately. Don't wait a week. They will forget who you are completely, or they'll complain that you don't have good follow-up. So follow up immediately. Whatever you promised to give them, get that out to them right away. And then you're going to maximize your results by integrating with other strategies. So if you network, if you do referrals, if you have an email list, you want to make sure that you are you're integrating those things, especially like an email list. Connecting on social media is great, but keeping in touch with people in their inbox is still one of the most effective for the most effective way to stay in touch with people long-term for long-term business. You don't want it to be just a one and done. You want to be there for the long haul. So you are in people's inbox when they need you. Okay, this is usually when I break for questions, but we're going to do it at the end. So I'm going to keep going. Okay, so now let's step back for a sec. What overall system or process do you have in place right now that consistently generates new clients? I want to spend a minute on factoring in the 6 essential elements of an effective client generation plan so you can maximize your results. Now, I mentioned earlier that you want to give people content, something they can use right away, and also give them the bigger picture. This is what I'm doing right now. I'm giving you the bigger picture, and it's going to be valuable to you. So I want to give you the bigger picture of how this all works together, because when it comes to client generation, a lot of people will take a class on speaking and then they'll do a little bit of on Facebook ads, they'll learn little bit about sales, and it just becomes this time-consuming mess instead of your efforts all pulling in the same direction. So I don't know why this slide is here, but oh, okay. I guess I'm going through these things on this slide right here. No problem. As a speaker, you want to always be ready to do things differently in the moment if need be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each of these elements just very quickly. I want you, if anything kind of jumps out at you, you're like, oh, shoot, I've never heard of that before, or I've never paid attention to that before. Maybe that's what I want to look at for my own business. This is how you will assess what might be missing, what might be getting in the way of really good client generation for you. So the first piece, we're going to start from the left-hand side. I'm not good with left and right. So the first thing is a profit plan. And the complete name of that is actually the values-driven profit plan, because you want to base your business on your values. You want to create a compelling vision so you're motivated even on the tough days. And you want to price your services so you are charging what you are worth. So looking at what you're doing right now, do you have your values in place? Is your vision in place? Is your pricing where it needs to be? So if it's yes, great, you've got it, check it off. If not, then that's something you can focus on to get better results out of your client generation. Proactive marketing is the second piece. Now this means, what do you have a way to generate new leads? Do you have a plan for generating new leads that is 100% under your control? Do you understand how to generate new leads in your business? If you do, it's a yes. If you don't, it's a place you can work on. A lot of people focus on visibility pieces. I know people who are very visible. They're out there in the world. You see them everywhere. They look like a rock star and they're making no money because they don't know how to generate leads from all of that visibility. The next piece is your ideal client. I talked a lot about ideal client because you have to know who that person is. What is their pain point? What are they struggling with? What will they pay to solve? Where do they gather? So do you know those things about your ideal client? Yes or no? If no, that might be a place to concentrate on. Magnetic message is next, and that simply is words. So the words that you use on your website, in your talks, when you're greeting someone, when they say, "What do you do?" Are you expressing the value of what you do from the perspective of your ideal client? So when you introduce yourself or they come to your website, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I need you." It's magnetic when you have that immediate "I need you" reaction. And then your sales system. If you do everything right and you're driving leads and you're speaking your ideal client language, and then you can't close the deal or ask to be paid what you're worth, everything falls apart here. So you have to be able to close the deal. And the last piece is time management. Of course, you've got to be able to get your priorities done. As a business owner, that is critical. When you bring all these things together, that's when business really starts clicking. That's that method, that strategy and structure that Lenice was talking about earlier. This is my Simply Get Clients method. Speaking is a part of that proactive marketing, and it is one of the most fun and effective ways, especially during the pandemic, to generate new business. I generated almost $200,000 just from speaking and from the referrals I received from speaking last year. That's during the pandemic. Now, that comes from doing this for a while and having that compounding effect, but it is possible even for newer people. And this is Georgia, who you saw earlier by mistake. And she was ready to quit her business. She was just so ready to quit because she was like, "I'm getting nowhere. I keep buying all these high-tech programs and they're going nowhere." We worked together on her speaking strategy. We worked on her client generation plan, all those elements we talked about. And she was booking people 13 leads at a time from her speaking gigs because we got her message dialed in. And it took a little while. I mean, it's not overnight success. It took her a good, I think, 6 months. But now we're working on scaling her business. Okay, so I know you're super happy for Georgia, but what about you? Let's talk about what needs to happen now for you from what you've learned, because you've got to apply what you learn or it's going to go nowhere. So here are 3 steps to make this stick. The first thing I want you to do is write down from what we talked about today, what is one bite-sized action that you can take? What is one bite-sized action that you can take? Now, bite-sized is great, but I've met ambitious speakers like you before. So I bet you wrote down more than one thing. Yes? Okay, because you want more, I get it. And this brings us to the second step. And this is where we have to imagine. You want to get into the creative centers of your mind. So I'm going to ask you to do this. I'm going to invite you to do this. I'm going to invite you to put your pen down, take your hands off your keyboard. Okay. And I want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. I'd like you to imagine stepping on stages and creating a steady stream of great clients. These are clients who pay you what you're worth. You're out there making a difference. You're known for your expertise and your brilliance. And to generate those clients, you're having fun because you have a plan. You're on stage consistently, attracting clients by delivering value and being authentic and never salesy. You know exactly what to do, where to go, and what to say to take prospects from a handshake to signing on the bottom line as a client. And you do it with confidence and with consistency and with ease. Take another deep breath and open your eyes. Is that a vision you could get behind? Yes? I hope so. So now you're feeling inspired. You're like, yes, Mary, I see what I need to do. But what's the challenge? Like the next challenge is that you are a busy person. You're fired up now. That how do you keep this level of focus and inspiration week after week so you really start seeing the results you want? So that brings us to number 3. At this point, I recommend you identify something really important. When thinking about what you want and need in your business, who do you have in your corner who has accomplished what you want to accomplish and is available to help you when you need it most? Because some of you may have the support you need, but for those of you who don't, I invite you to consider working with me. This is what I do. And this isn't for everyone, and that's fine. But if you're looking to significantly grow your business and really expand your speaking without working nights and weekends, then it's time to figure out what it's going to take to make that happen. So what I'm offering today is a complimentary breakthrough call to get that clarity and to explore working together further. It's a great option for you if you've been feeling a little stuck in your business, like you're spinning your wheels and you're not sure why, and you could use a reboot, or maybe you've been looking for some kind of support, but just can't quite picture what that would look like. It is a complimentary call, and it's really for you if you are ready to step into that bigger picture, that bigger version of yourself. You're ready to invest in yourself and really change your results for good. So if that sounds like you, then on this call, you get one-on-one consultation time with Jane. She is my top strategist. She'll help you get clear on your biggest challenges and what you need to do to solve them so you can get the results you want. And she's really a master at helping you get clear to see if my Fast Track Speaker Academy would be good for you, or for my accelerator. And here's the thing, if it's not, she will be straight with you too, because it is not for everyone. Okay, so how do you get on her calendar to talk about potentially working with me? Go to breakthroughcall.biz. It's just a scheduling page, very simple. Pick your date, pick your time, boom, you're done. One less thing to do, one less thing to think about, puts you first in line. Now, in case you're thinking, okay, that sounds interesting, I'm just like jotting that down right now. I'll get around to it later. I will give you an incentive so that all this good intention doesn't get lost in a busy day. So when you schedule the next 30 minutes, you will get free stuff. Yes, book your call, and the next 30 minutes, you'll receive 2 gifts: a digital copy of my complete ebook of strategy and encouragement for the impact-driven entrepreneur. And yes, it's called Smile When They Call You Sleazy. It really is quick reads and a big dose of humor to help you through the rough days of owning a business. Plus, I'm giving you immediate access to my Launch Your Six-Figure Speaking Strategy course, a deeper dive into the strategy of speaking as a way to generate new clients. Now, I'm happy to offer this. Let me be clear. I'm happy to offer this because I trust if you schedule a call, you're serious about potentially working together, and I want to match that level of commitment right up front. Is that fair? Yeah? Okay, and I think that's it. Just a reminder that you can also get into my, get access to the Book Speaking Gigs Like Crazy mini course, kickstart your efforts. And, oh, and I just have one last thing. If you want to get this mini course, you can just send me an email, mary@simplygetclients.com, with the subject line SMILE. Okay, so I want to tell you a story just to wrap this up. And look at that, I am on time and everything. Okay, I want to take you back to the moment that everything changed for me with regards to speaking. It was the moment that I truly started to believe that I could be a speaker. I was on a teleclass. Do you remember what teleclasses are? I do. This was some time ago. It was about 12 years ago. And Les Brown, I was on there with Les Brown. He's an incredible, incredible speaker. And what he said to me, what he said to the class, he said, there are people in the world, because, okay, so here's what was going on in my mind. In my mind, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to talk about, at the time, I was talking about time management. Everyone talks about time management. Who wants to hear from me? What's the big deal? And here's what he said. And I'm going to hope Lenise will put this back up on the screen. There are people in the world who can only hear your voice. In that moment, I realized, and I knew this was true because I'd heard speakers before and they'd said all kinds of things, and it was kind of like, yeah, just went over my head. But there are people whose voice, their approach, their personality, the who they are-ness of themselves stuck with me and resonated forever. And I knew it was my time to step up. So I hope this reminds you to step up. And from what I'm sharing with you today, I hope what sticks with you from our time together is, if nothing else, is that if you want your speaking to provide for you financially, you've got to be strategic. You must ask for compensation. Too many speakers assume that if they take their natural talent to the stage, that paid engagements and clients will just naturally follow. It's that whole trap of thinking that build it and they will come. Okay. So yes, Raise your voice on behalf of others, lift them up, transform their lives, but also remember to raise your voice on your own behalf and advocate for yourself to be compensated for all of your gifts. And Lanice.
Woo.
Woo!
Woo! What did I say? Oh my goodness. I was about to tear up. I'm not going to lie. That was amazing. That was so powerful. I told you guys. I said get the tea. I didn't know I was going to have to get the tissue too. This was amazing. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate this. This was powerful. I hope you all, and I don't know if I actually have, is that the right email? Which email do you want?
The link I would love people to go to if they'd like to schedule a call is breakthroughcall.biz. Breakthroughcall.biz. And just so the expectation is really clear, that is to look at my program, see if they're a fit. I am starting on Monday. I mean, every once in a while, I get someone who's just like hell-bent for leather. They're like, I'm so in, I want right now. I do have a program starting Monday, and it is my advanced Fast Track Speaker Academy, all about how to like get your content together so that it sells without being salesy. So
wonderful. Thank you. Was there any questions before we end this call? Hello, Brandy. You guys, if you did not watch this, I'm telling you, this is literally transformational. This is really good. So, do we have any questions? I know I just have a few before we let you go. We're getting thank yous. Hello. Thank you, Mary. Love the idea of the complimentary call. So they're loving you here. So what advice would you have for someone who is trying to transition from what they normally do to being an influencer, like in building that online presence as well?
Oh, I really have no idea. See, I mean, I joke, but I'm actually completely serious. Being an online influencer is not my area of expertise. What I do find is that there's a very interesting interplay that I've experienced by getting on stages, getting connected with groups, and then making sure to be putting that online. Because it's amazing what happens when you see someone on stage in front of an audience, or even like, you know, the reality of what we're doing right now, which is to see a screenshot like this of me framed in this beautiful frame that you've put together on StreamYard. There's a credibility, there's an elevation that happens to you. So making sure that whenever you speak, my social media team, they're always like, get pictures of yourself. They are aggravated with me because I'm not good at it. I get into the speaking and I'm like, I can't do these other things. But making sure it's all about maximizing everything you do. So if you're speaking, grab pictures, get quotes, get the testimonials, get all of those things working for you. And it isn't one thing, it is that accumulation and the consistency of putting yourself out there and then expanding your reach.
And so how long was your process of hearing like the no's, and what helped you get over that to kind of push forward? What was like really your breakthrough moment?
You know, numbers. For me, numbers are always very comforting to me. So when I first started speaking, I was working with a coach, very experienced speaker. And she said, Mary, I don't care how experienced of a speaker you are, here's what's going to happen for every 5 speaking engagements. One of them is going to be so amazing, so profitable, so energizing. They're going to ask you back and it's going to be phenomenal. 1 out of 5. 2 are going to be good, solid workhorses. You're going to get some leads. It's going to be good. You're going to feel good about it. Solid. 1 of them is going to be maybe get a lead, maybe no leads, you know, and 1's going to suck. And the reason why I find it comforting to talk about a speaking gig sucking is because especially when you're new, there is, for myself, I'll speak for myself, I had the tendency to think that whatever I did was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that I needed to fix it, or it's because I was new. And knowing that professional speakers, 5 speaking gigs, one's going to suck, not beating myself up so much. It let me take a little bit more of a risk.
Mm-hmm.
And also volume, the volume of what you do. What really changed things for me is when I started consistently getting on stages every single month, because even with the strategies I teach, there's stuff you can't learn until you're in front of an audience. I mean, you know this. It's like, wow, you put something in your talk, you're like, oh, I thought that was going to work amazing. And it's just crickets. So it's that you have to do a lot of outreach, a lot of getting curious about what it is that people who book speakers, what they want, asking questions, and doing a lot of it so that you have a lot of stages to step on so that you can hone your craft. And so I don't really pay attention. The no's don't have as much impact when you've got more opportunities on the horizon. So you've got to create tons of opportunities. That's it.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna ask one more question. What would you say to someone that is struggling with identifying who their ideal client is and kind of nailing that down? What would you suggest to them to kind of figure that out?
So I can tell you what I did, which was, I don't know, I'm just going to run out there, tell people all the different ways I help people. And then my prices were too low. And so people started hiring me and I was getting paid, not a lot, but I was getting paid. And I was figuring out, okay, I don't want to do that. I don't want to work with that kind of person. And I call it the earn while you learn method. It's like, don't worry about doing it perfectly, but make sure you're asking to get paid in the process. Because that's, there are people out there who will be like, oh, Lanice, you're telling them about your business. They're like, oh my gosh, that's a great idea. You're brilliant. We love you. But their opinion is worth less than someone who will hand you a credit card to pay you. So all of the encouragement can sometimes it can take you off track. You have to find out not what people like you for, but what they will pay you for.
Ooh, good. Y'all got that? All
Receipts.
Right. Yes. Receipts. Yes, receipts. So you guys got some receipts today. All right. And so thank you so much. This was so much wealth here. I know that I got a lot. I know that everybody listening and those that are listening to the replay, make sure you connect. Make sure you write down the information. Connect with Mary. If I know that somebody listening here is ready to scale, ready to get paid, right? A pat on the back. They try to get a pat on the back, right? They like, I got enough pats to last me all my life.
There you go.
Yes, they want a pat in their pocket. So thank you, Mary, so much. We appreciate you. We appreciate you so much. So y'all show some hearts and love as Mary leaves the stage. And so I thank you guys again. My name is Lanice McGee, and I just want to show you guys what we have coming. Again, this is the Speaker Circle, and every second Tuesday of the month, second or third, something like that, we have Teaching Tuesdays, and we bring somebody fabulous here to the stage so that you all can grow in your business. And I just want to show you, this is who we have. So next month, make sure that you join us for Larry Beachman. I'm telling you, speak plus product equal profits. So he's going to tell you about how to figure out what your products is and things of that nature. You do not want to miss that either. So make sure that you mark your calendar. Make sure if you are not a part of the Speaker Circle that you join this family. Invite somebody that you know needs to be getting paid for their gift, that needs to connect to a mentor and connect to a coach. I do not want to see anybody that's a part of this community to stay in the same position that they are in. We all can level up. We all can scale up. That is what this group is for. That is what this community is for. And guess what? A closed mouth don't get fed. If you need help, get help, right? It is here, and we are all about it. So I thank you guys again for joining us. Make sure that you connect to Mary. And until next time, we will meet you here at the Speaker Circle.